what's up guys? Welcome to Kitchen Table Talk with VDF.
What's going on? Hey Damien, are you at a kitchen table today or what?
I am at a kitchen table today. As you see, I got my shirt on. My hair is getting a little longer than usual, but I'm ready. I'm excited, man. How are you, man? How's life?
Life is great. Life is busy, great. And I'm just excited to get Table Talk done so we can make some moves today.
Cool. Cool. Well, we have a couple good questions. We actually have one sort of spotlight question we'll get to in a second. But the first question comes in pretty straightforward. This one is from Adrienne Dupree in Mitchellville, Maryland. And she had a question. She's actually, as you know, Mark, we do, you do a lot of real estate investing stuff in addition to the VDF, and we do a lot of stuff too. And she asked a question. She said, hey, I got a done for you deal system, and I had a question because I'm also a VDF member. I heard that my deals and my buyers go into VDF. How does that work? Great question, Adrienne. Actually, since we created the VDF technology, and we also created the automated deal generating technology behind Done For You Deals and Real Simple Investor Sites, we actually built something that's not available anywhere else, at least not right now, where everything you generate through your online efforts, through your system, also goes directly into your VDF account. It's something called sort of like an API feed, or I don't even know what it's called. I'm probably using the wrong name. But the way it works is it's really neat so that you can do all your web-based marketing, all your deal generating, and then know that it's going into VDF and with you as the contact. So it's not like Mark, it's not like their information is being out and someone's going to see their deal and grab it from them, or see their buyer and grab it from them. They're going to see the details, such as how much they're looking to pay, or how much the property is, or what the situation is, and then it'll all go back to Adrienne Dupree or whoever it is as the contact information to do the deal. So that's the way it works. It's a great question.
Absolutely.
Mark, this comes up a lot because obviously, and I'm glad this came up to kind of bring this to a more global, because not everybody is part of what we do or part of what you do, or the both of us. Is, obviously we created, the Virtual Deal Factory. We have our own development team, our own, VDF support team. So it's really, really important from a global standpoint that anytime you need anything related to Virtual Deal Factory, that you come to the Virtual Deal Factory. It's always the fastest and best way for us to give you the best service. Because I know, Mark, you get all the time, you get email, someone's like, hey, I was in VDF and I had a question about this, and then you have to send it over to Bobby and our VDF team, and she has to send it, and it ends up taking a lot longer, and sometimes even things get lost. So
absolutely,
the lesson from the question: you need help with VDF questions, testimonials, success stories, always direct it to VDF. It's not that Mark and I have a ton of stuff going on. We're here in VDF all the time, but we also have a team dedicated to you for VDF.
Absolutely, great question. Cool.
So I know you have a question. This is like hot off the presses, and this is from one of your big fans and students.
Yeah, Fred Meltzer. And
yeah, I met Fred. What's up, Fred?
Hey, one thing too, what's neat, Damien, is when we do Kitchen Table Talk, or anytime we talk about someone, you hear their name, just go up to the top right area where it says search. Search the person out and become friends with them. Help them out with their questions as well. Collaborate. Do some business together. That's really what VDF's about. So here's the question, Damien. I'm going to open myself up here, as he says, and I wonder what I'll get. Here goes. I have a property in a nice neighborhood, completely renovated, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a full basement and bonus room downstairs. Fenced-in backyard, backing up to a park on a quiet street in Georgia here. It's rented for $900 a month. I'm selling it for $49,900. I have a spreadsheet of expenses, and I'm including property management in the deal. After all expenses, the return for the cash buyer is about 14%. Returns are much higher if the investor finances the purchase and only makes a small down payment. There is a YouTube video of the finished renovation. I've been advertising it here and on Craigslist and other FSBO sites, which means for sale by owner, and networking locally here in the Atlanta area. Why do you think it's not selling despite interest from several investors? What am I missing? Any wisdom here would help, because I'm obviously going about this all wrong. Fred.
Well, first of all, I know you're going to hop all over this, especially since Georgia's your backyard. But the first two things, before we talk about what Fred may be doing wrong or what he can do better, first I need to tip my hat to Fred for two reasons. One, for being savvy enough to say, you know what, I'm going to create a YouTube video. I'm gonna use some other resources. I'm not just gonna put a picture up and sit back, but I'm going to take action. So that's absolutely the right thing. And the other thing is, even more importantly, just being aggressive enough to say, you know what, I'm going to ask, VDF. I'm going to send in a question. I'm gonna reach out to people. And now you see, Fred, you're on Kitchen Table Talk, and we're talking about your deal.
Absolutely. And I do have a lot of answers for this. And I also have some questions, and also for everybody watching, a homework assignment. First of all, Damien, as you know, in any kind of business, you could do everything right, but if you miss one piece, it doesn't matter how great all the other pieces are. Sure. Because you have to close the gap. You have to close the deal. That's your job. That's what we get paid as real estate investors to do, is to close the deal. And I could have the best marketing, I could have the best house on the block, and there's a couple different pieces that could be factors in there. Number one, it's overpriced. I don't know if that's true on this deal. It doesn't seem like it is. Number two, there could be a huge quantity of properties in that area, or number three, maybe there's your marketing's just not, getting them to the next step. I don't know what your messages are saying. I'm pretty confident and that you're marketing semi-correctly. But I think here's a couple things. Number one, listen to what your prospects want and stop selling them what you think they need. Because you said the 14% cash on return. Right now, mentally, especially with what's going on with GE, Damien, like the government took 60% of GE, which is absolutely funny to me, is people mentally, they're so beaten up by the economical world, just the media is like overwhelming them. It's overwhelming to me, and I don't even listen to this. But just the negative environment around percentage rates. Bernie Madoff gets 10%, he goes to prison. Billions of dollars, he's a scam artist. And when you say these big numbers and kind of like people that are kind of not really investors yet, but they want big money, but when that big money opportunity presents itself, it's just kind of scary because it doesn't seem real. And if it's such a good deal and it makes 14%, why aren't you keeping the deal is what some people think. So what happens is many pieces here is start asking them, what's the top thing you would like to get out of this property if you would purchase this from me? If I let you purchase this from me, is kind of how we approach it. Because the goal is we want to deal with people that have a long-term vision. We're not looking to just do one deal with people. We typically want to do multiple deals per year with each person we do business with. I'd rather, in my business, have 10 people that buys a deal a month than to deal with 120 people, right? It's just so much easier in life. So there's a couple things here, and I know that's going on is because he said, we have a couple investors. Here, where's this part at? What do you think is not selling despite interest from several investors? Because right now properties don't sell, you have to close them. They're not sell, properties will sell, but you have to be aggressive. You have to stage it properly. You have to close the gap or close the deal, so to speak. And, as well, Fred, great question to us, but ask them, hey, I'm kind of confused. Why, what's holding you back from moving forward? It could be multiple things. It could be money. It could be the area. It could be the property. It could be the tenants. It could be a bunch of things. So ask them, and once you find the root cause, then you can create the solution to the problem. And when you do that, that's how you start closing more deals more often. And trust me, we have we have lots of deals right now that we're in the process of putting out there today. I'm doing an email about the same exact thing as we have properties to sell too. But what I do is I make it easier for people to say yes. Then it's painful to say no when they do a deal with us. If they say no, I'm gonna beat them up mentally. I'm gonna say why. I want to know, and I'm not there to hurt them. I'm there to push them because closers close deals. And one more thing too, Damien, I don't know. Again, Fred, I don't know what kind of response you're getting on your ads and stuff. I don't like the price point $49.9. I think $49.9 makes it look just like everybody else. Personally, if I was going to price that property, I'd say $48,577.18. And then what that does, it looks like a payoff. It looks like a short sale's been initiated. It looks like a payoff. I would also potentially, I for sure would actually, put up signs out front. I'd have signs plastered outside in front of the property, down the road, etc. And I would be talking in their head. People have conversations going on right now as you're watching this video. Conversations going on. I would talk to them right now. A lot of investors think the only way to buy properties right now is through foreclosure or short sell. So why not act like you're a desperate seller? Act like it. Put the position where it's like, investor faces foreclosure, short sell on the books, $48,922.16 or whatever number. Make it look like a payoff. And then when they come into you, say, yeah, look, here's what we got going on. The tenants want to stay, blah, 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 blah. And, or if you don't like that position because maybe, whatever, you don't feel comfortable doing that, you could also, maybe their mind mentally is saying, Fred, this sounds like a good deal, but what if the tenants move out in 6 months? What happens? So what you could do is you could do a 12-month rent guarantee, or you could escrow 12 months or 6 months of that money. Personally, what I would do is bump up the price a little bit, go for 54, and then bump that in there. You're going to get that money back potentially as long as you put a good renter in, but yet that gives that mental breakdown or balance so they can, just move forward with you. And these little things right now, I'm telling you, these little tips and strategies are huge to sell deals, huge. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's Friday Table Talk. This is Mark Evans. Talk to you soon.